Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's a Daily Dave. It's me. I'm Dave. And it's a Daily Dave, sort of. Like, it happens on days, but not every day. So it's kind of a Daily Dave. But hey, I'm happy to be here with you and chat a little bit about some updates, some things that have been happening for myself here in podcasting. Lots of stuff going on. We're busy working on November's 30 episodes in a row for this show, in addition to 2 other podcasts that are doing 30 episodes in a row. That's 90 episodes total, everyone, for National Podcast Post Month. If you don't know about it, please check it out. We'll have a link in the show notes. NaPodPomo is the hashtag. And the idea is that us as podcasters create little mini episodes or full-length episodes, whatever you want to do, but do 30 in a row for the month of November. And if you haven't tried it, you should. And you should start now, because it's like a lot of work to do this and get it ready for that. And I would encourage you to think about it. So that's for November, National Podcast Post Month, 30 episodes in a row. Think about this. You're like, that sounds overwhelming, Dave. That's a lot of work. Then what if you just have like your favorite quote, your favorite book, 30 of them. And every episode, you just do a little episode about it, your favorite quote, your favorite something, and your favorite book, why you love it, what's it about. Put links to those things in your notes. Make them like a 2-minute, 5-minute episode, short. You do these, batch them one at a time, and then all you do is set it up with your podcast host to go live in the future. So you could record an episode right now and set it to go on November 1st, release it on November 1st, and then November 2nd, November 3rd, all the way through. Think about it. You're like, that's overwhelming, Dave. Well, it's only overwhelming if you haven't tried, and maybe just think about how you could do this. If not this year, maybe next year. But that's what I'm working on right now, is 90 episodes for the month of November. It's a lot. It's a lot of Dave. But my community is stepping up and helping me create the content. So that's another way you can do it. You can have your community do all the work. You do the editing, post it, you're done. So there's a lot of options. That's what I'm working on right now. Property-wise, we've got 2 tenants in place in 2 of our properties. We've been working our butts off, painting and flooring and plumbing and electrical and And then we've actually had me personally, have had like 24-hour days straight where I work all night, work all day. You get a little punchy, after working those kind of hours, but it's something that we enjoy doing, and we love getting people into our world who come and rent from us in our house, and it's great. So yeah, it's fun. So that's what I've been up to. A little quiet here in the podcast space. I've got a lot of catching up to do, but I've been listening to your SpeakPipe messages. I've been thanking you for your Buy Me a Coffee donations. Thank you. That's so kind of you. And excited to get back in the chair, get behind the mic, and get ready for a busy October, as all of my calendar invites have been shoved kind of into the month of October, giving me the time to spend on these projects that I've been working on outside of podcasting. So I'm excited to get back behind the mic and excited to be with you. So one of the things I did in the month of September was my wife Jennifer and I took a flight out from Hamilton, Ontario to Calgary to go to PodSummit. PodSummit.com is the website. Tim and his team did an amazing job, and we got to go to the beautiful, grand downtown Calgary. Beautiful place. So I'm going to do probably more in-depth deep dive on some of the takeaways that I've had from there. But this was my very first podcast conference. I know my American friends, you are spoiled with great conferences. You have PodFest, PodSummit. We have here in Canada, you have Podcast Movement. There's so many great places you can go and meet people. And if you're like, I'm an introvert, I don't know if I do well. I did okay. I could have done better, but I did well in the sense that I did talk to some people, make some connections. And I sheepishly put my business card out on tables, and guess what? People took them, or they threw them in the garbage. I hope they took them. And it's kind of cool to know that people would pick up my card and be interested in what I do in podcasting. So that's fun. And it was great to go on a plane. My wife Jen and I have, in 31 years of marriage, never flown on a plane together. We've flown separately at different times in our lives, but never together. And guess what? I had to sit in the middle seat because my gorgeous wife Jen, wanted to look out the window. And as a good husband, what am I going to do? I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be a nice guy, right? But that made me sit beside somebody I don't know. And that was fun as an introvert to strike up a conversation with a complete stranger. But I'm a podcaster, so I had to put on my podcast hat and start up a conversation with somebody I don't know in real life. Ooh, without Zoom. Oh, Lord. And no microphone, no headphones. It was fun. It was tough, but I did it. Be proud of me. I did it. And as we go to the conference, it was great. We stayed downtown in Calgary. But one thing I've noticed about Calgary is the whole downtown closes at 3 p.m. Everybody goes home, and good luck even finding a coffee, or an open restaurant after 3 o'clock. It's like the place is a ghost town in the afternoon. It's the weirdest thing ever, coming from Toronto, where everything's open all the time, basically. It's like a mini New York. It's just, you can get something anywhere at any time, to this, where it's it's not even dinner, and you're fighting for a place to find a spot. Calgary, why do you close? But it's good. Good people. It's a beautiful city. Oh my Lord. Such a beautiful city. And we took lots of photos. We did all the touristy stuff, and we got my best friend Marco and his wife Lizette. They live out in Calgary, so we had an evening with them. We drove out. They took us out to Banff. Wow. The splendor of the mountains and the foothills of Alberta. Wow. It's just gorgeous to stand there in front of this massive mountain that seems to come out of nowhere. You just look up as to try to get to the peak with your eyes as you try to scan this mountainous range. You're like, wow, I'm so little. In the big scheme of things, I'm such a small little piece of this world. And it was very, very reflective to stand there in that beauty and the quietness of the mountains and just go, wow, this is a nice world we live in. And I think we need to be tourists in our world. We need to be a tourist where we live. To that point, I would challenge you to take a road you never drive down. Go to that restaurant or that store or that thing that you never go to. Be a tourist where you are, because being a tourist makes you more aware of yourself and your surroundings. And it gives you an opportunity to go, wow, I live in a beautiful place of the world. I'm blessed to be where I am, and I'm blessed to be in the community that I'm in and surrounded by the people who love me and know me. It's a good thing to be a tourist wherever you are. And then outside of where you live, if you can go somewhere different from where you normally are, it's going to give you a different perspective. You're going to meet new people you wouldn't meet anywhere else. And this is just a great way to grow as a person, to put yourself into a new environment where you are out of your element. I think we need to do that in our podcast as well. We need to get out of the traditional comfort zone that we're in now. Maybe if we've had several episodes or been doing this for a few years, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, things can become routine. Things can become a little bit boring, a little bit stale, because we're not pushing ourselves in new directions. So I want you to be a tourist in your own city, town, wherever you live. And I want you to be a tourist for your podcast. I want you to be willing to go new places. As Star Trek fans will understand, to boldly go where no one's gone before, to go and to put yourself into a place where you stand in front of something new in your podcast and go, wow, I'm just a little piece of this picture. I'm a little piece of this thing called podcasting. And you fall in love with it all over again. So if you're feeling a little stale, you're feeling a little punchy because you've been doing this for a while, and you just you come to the microphone and go, why am I doing this? Why am I even here? I tell you, standing in front of the mountains in Alberta, it's like I had that question. I'm like, why am I here? Why do I matter in this big world of things that are bigger than me and things that are spectacular? What is it about me that this world needs? And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on learning that and growing through that as a podcaster. And I challenge you, as you follow your path, that you find opportunities to realize how big you are or how small you are. And reflect. And then come back to the mic with new vim and vigor, that you know that you're in the right spot as a podcaster and that you've been somewhere new. Mentally, physically, your environment grows, your perspective grows when you put yourself in new places. So this week, I'm asking you to put yourself into a new place. Again, that restaurant you never go to, that coffee shop that you've driven by 1,000 times, that little store that you have no idea what they sell, that park that's close to where you work that you never go to. This week during lunch, I want you to walk to that park and sit on that bench and just sit there and go, you know what? There is more to my world than what I've built my little world around. And the moment you put yourself into something new, that's where inspiration comes. That's where connections come. That's where new insights, new thoughts come. It's like you unlock a new piece of yourself. So I'm challenging you to do that this week, especially if you're feeling a little dry, a little stale with your podcast or whatever you're working on. For us, it was getting on a plane and flying 8 hours total there and back and seeing the beauty of the world from a different perspective, from a plane looking down. But then walking new streets, turning the corner and seeing new things, meeting new people, going to a conference. These are all things that make you a bigger and better person because it's more than what you're used to. So try that this week, okay? Try putting yourself into a new space, a new place that you've never been, meeting people you've never met. And I know as an introvert that can be tough, very, very challenging. But at the end of the day, you will be better for it because you're a different person through the process. And people need to meet you. You're a pretty important, special person. And the world is better because you're here. So don't hold back who you are. Don't play small. You're a great person with great ideas. People love your podcast. People love you. And people talk about you behind your back in a good way. They're like, that person is awesome. Bob, Joan, Mary, Abigail, you got to meet that person. Oh, they're so awesome. And those conversations are being had and you're not even there. It's time to step up and do something new and unique for you and your podcast. I'm challenging you to do that. So if you've tried something new this week because of this episode, head over to howtopodcast.ca, click the speak pipe, tell me about it. Tell me what you did new or different. Where did you go? What did you see? What did you learn about yourself and your surroundings? I can't wait to hear it. howtopodcast.ca. Click the speak pipe message or send me an email. What's different now that you're a tourist in your world, in your life? I can't wait to hear it. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for being here. We'll talk soon. Great episodes coming up. And don't forget about National Podcast Post Month. NAPOD POMO. 30 episodes in 30 days in November. If you need any help, let me know. Thanks for listening. Keep podcasting. Keep being you. Take care.